Master your technology, and let's go ahead and begin with a boot up test between both of these in 3, 2, go. And sorry for the wait. I know it's been a long time coming to do this speed test comparison. I just got distracted with some of the other ones. This speed test is so delayed. It's like Grand Theft Auto 6 right now. Just being real with you guys. But at the same time, we still got to see it. And plus, 26.1 is now on the iPhone Air. And Galaxy S25 Edge is on its latest updates. And the S25 Edge says, I came out earlier. I was the first to do this thing. And I'm also going to boot up first. So sit down, iPhone Air. But the iPhone Air also has that trademark curved design versus the more flat edges, the more rectangular look of the S25 Edge. Let me know which design you prefer down below in the comments. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and look at Face ID. So just raise to wake, and then you just swipe right in. Very convenient on the iPhone Air, just like all the other Pros of the past several years. On the iPhone's competitor, the S25 Edge, we have the in-display ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, which can be unlocked with the screen off. So in that particular way of unlocking the phone, I just feel like it's quicker. Once you know where the placement is, you're in all the time. But that doesn't mean it's more convenient. If your fingers get a little bit greasy, it does kind of mess with it. But you can see the face unlock can require you to you can actually set it up to just bypass the swipe. So I'm right in. I do think in a speed test when it comes to unlocking, I think I can get into my Edge faster than an iPhone user can get into their Air. But that doesn't matter to most people. It's still so close. It's not going to make a big difference. But I just like how on the Samsungs, I could just pull it out of the pocket. I don't even need to be looking. Like literally right now, I'll show you. Watch me. I'm gonna put me in the front facing camera right here. I'm gonna look at you guys and talk, and look, I just unlocked the Edge without even looking at it. I'm in. That's it. Bottom line. You can say, well, you could do that in the Air 2. Let's see. Can I do that in the Air 2? Nope. I had to look at the screen. I probably have screen attention mode on. All right, when it comes to the actual, swiping through the home screens, the speed of operations, iOS 26 is still doing the typical Apple thing, which is not being the most fastest looking thing in the world, but they did improve the animation speeds and they still have the polish. One of the things I really like about 26 is the way the applications fly in. They do look pretty darn nice. Also, within the control center, things do bounce a little bit. It looks like the controls are just bouncing to the next page. So there is a little bit of attention to detail being paid here. And also the polish and the consistency amongst liquid glass and the different shapes. Everything just looks really good there. Over here on the Samsung, to me, they're going for more of a snappy, fast feel with faster animations than they used to have. And One UI 8 has been very nice. It's also snappy to swipe through pages, and everything has been operating very fast. I would say the Samsung feels snappier day to day. All right, guys, so we've arrived at the app test. You can see everything is now closed out for both phones. As you can see, I just closed out a couple of things. Let's go ahead and head into the calendar, and you could see pretty close on both of them. Let's go into clock, and that was faster on the left. We'll swipe up out of there. We'll go into calculator, quicker on the Samsung. We'll go into Play Store. Play Store was faster on the right. I'm going to go ahead and turn off dark modes. Here, let's go ahead and swipe up out of there, and we'll go into ChatGPT. Faster to pop open on the Samsung Gemini. Faster to pop open on the Samsung. We'll go into Grok. Faster to launch on the Samsung. Copilot. We'll go to keep approximate location. I'm going to do Copilot again because it was popping up for the location. Faster on the iPhone Air. Hold on, let me close that out because YouTube wasn't even on there. I don't know why I did that. That's just me being unprepared right here. Let me just go ahead and put these real quick. Yeah, let's go into Instagram. And you can see, we'll go over here to this one right here. As we swipe through, similar scrolling as before. Not a big difference. We'll go into X. And if we go over here to profile page, both of them flying through everything pretty darn nice. Let's go ahead and swipe up out of here. Go into Groupon. We'll hit maybe later, and we'll hit categories right here. As we fly through these applications, I feel like I'm using basically the same phones overall in performance. So let's go into Dead Trigger 2 and see what happens here. And the Samsung does launch first, and you'll see into the game first, authentication successful on the iPhone Air. Let's head up out of here. We'll go into Subway Surfers. Do keep in mind that both of these do have 12 gigabytes of RAM, and the iPhone does have the A19 Pro chip. On the right, we do have ourselves the Snapdragon 8 Elite. So let's go ahead and pull this down, and we'll pull this down right here, and we'll head into RTS, and you'll see RTS Race the Sun is going to go first to the iPhone. So pretty, but overall these phones are looking almost the same. But the Samsung right now has actually been cheaper than it when it came out. This thing has been like around $750. I'm going to leave a link to my Amazon affiliate link down below. I've been seeing it on Amazon cheaper for than the iPhone Air lately. Well, the iPhone Air is newer, but the Samsung is now on deals right now compared to when it first came out at retail. So it's like, it's almost, I actually think you could get the Edge for cheaper than the base 17. So this could be a good value proposition for those of you who want a very, very thin phone. And this also has the things that the Air, a couple of things that the Air don't have, which is the dual speakers and also the dual cameras on the rear. Let's go into PUBG Mobile, and you'll see PUBG Mobile, which one is going to go to, better optimized for the left. And the Galaxy S25 Edge is seeming to be coming here soon. So there is the iPhone Air, and it beats the Galaxy S25 Edge to the home screens. We're going to swipe up out of there. We're going to go into Destiny Rising, and let's go ahead and see what happens here. Looks like the Edge might be in the lead, but I could be wrong. Nope, it looks like the Edge is in the lead here, but they're so tight, man. We're talking about just a couple of seconds on some of these. Some of them, the apps are faster on the Air if the device has been optimized better. But this one's going to the Galaxy S25 Edge. So I misclicked a couple of things, but it was only a difference of like a second. Both of them do pretty good here in the gaming department. I do have to say though that the Edge spreads its heat a little bit better than the iPhone Air. The iPhone Air localizes most of its heat up to this area up there by the plateau. So it can get a little bit uncomfortable up there. It's not like super hot or anything, but it's no Pro Max when it comes to the heat dissipation. So if gaming was your particular thing, I would go with the Pro Max in the iPhone land. But between these, I think the Edge does a little bit better of spreading the heat across the body and not being as uncomfortable in that one location up there, because it gets more toasty in just one area on the iPhone Air. But you can see, let's go into Geekbench 6, faster on the Edge. I have to say, based on this test, I think it's pretty much a draw in most departments. I mean, yeah, a lot of the apps, like the animation was a little bit faster on the Edge, but some of them opened first on the Air, and they were kind of like trading back and forth. They were so close that I feel like there's not much in it. So it's pretty close here with just day-to-day applications. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Geekbench 6. You can see the highest clock speed is 4.26 gigahertz. Over here, 4.47 gigahertz on Android 16. But both of them do have 12 gigs of RAM. Let's take a look at the RAM management now. All right, guys, so we're going to go through the applications on the Air. And one of the things that's nice about this iPhone Air is that even though it's super thin, it's super good at holding the applications in the background. It doesn't tend to reload much of anything. As you see, I bring in RTS, Subway Surfers, Dead Trigger 2, Groupon, X, Instagram, Copilot. I mean, all this stuff is ready to go. It holds apps very well. So App Store did reload the main page, but I mean, you're not going to have no issues with reloading. And I think Apple putting 12 GB of RAM sets the Air up for a good long-term experience. So even if it doesn't end up succeeding in the way people might have hoped it for, it'll still be a great phone for those of you who buy it for many years to come. Now, looking at the Galaxy S25 Edge, I'm telling you, Samsung has been going to town this year, and they've been lately with their performance. So you're going to find that these also tend to do a really good job with the RAM management. They also do have a bit better multitasking abilities and taking advantage of that memory with the ability to use Samsung DeX on you can plug it into a monitor or something like that, but they no longer support the PC application. But if we go over here to Play Store, Calculator, I feel like the animation going back actually looks a little faster on the iPhone now. But you have split screen and stuff like that. At the end of the day, they didn't really reload or relaunch much of anything. So same thing with the Samsung. It's a flying, this thing flies. This is a speedy phone for day-to-day use. So again, not a huge difference. Let's see if we can get a difference in the benchmarks though. And our final Geekbench 6 results are in, and what reflects here is that what we usually see, Apple winning in Geekbench 6, but by a pretty good margin in the single core, not so substantial in multi-core, but they're kind of the same, you know, both of them. They're about, on this one, it's about 800 points. On the multi-core, it's about 800 points. But in reality, I mean, let's be real. You've seen in reality that the actual performance was barely minimal. Let's go ahead and check out the Wildlife Extreme test now. So we'll go ahead and start that here on both of them, see what they can do graphically. But this is a really tight comparison, because it's like they're almost like offering the same thing, but they kind of trade different things. Like the iPhone Air is a little more comfortable to hold because of the curved edges, but the Samsung gives you the dual cameras, gives you a similarly thin design, and also gives you dual speakers. So you kind of got to pick what you want. You know, you can get the long software updates with both of them. So the battery life might be not as good as the Ultra phones and the Max phones, but both of them should get through a day for the average user. So they haven't been too disappointing in this department either. Just haven't been blowing anybody away by being substantial endurance warriors in the battery department. But let me go ahead and showcase the results here in just a second. And so the tables have turned here in Wildlife Extreme, with the Galaxy S25 Edge giving us a 4439 and an average frame rate of 26.58. That's up 6.58 over the iPhone Air, scoring better than 85% of devices on the market, with the iPhone Air doing better than 69% of devices on the market. So according to that test, the Edge should do a bit better with gaming overall. And I did find that this Air does score lower than the Pro and Pro Max on that Wildlife Extreme score. So let's go ahead now and take a quick photo sample here with both phones. So let me go ahead and back it out, and we'll just see how fast they can do with the speed of their cameras. So let me go ahead and bring both phones here, and we'll go ahead and hit the camera in 3, 2, go. And iPhone Air gets that open first. Let's do it again. 3, 2, go. iPhone Air a bit quicker. Let's close that camera out. And we closed everything now. So let's go ahead and open that camera in 3, 2, go. Yep, faster on the Air. Also, the Air doesn't have quite as much versatility because it doesn't have the ultra wide like the S25 Edge does. But I find that these Edge right here doesn't zoom quite as smooth as the Air. The Air zooms a little bit smoother there, but doesn't go quite as far on the ultra wide. There is no ultra wide. So yeah, you got to pick and choose what matters to you. But the two thin phones for first attempts from both companies, I think they're pretty solid attempts. I do want to see improvements to both of them. On the Edge, I want to see improvements to battery experience, but I don't even know if we're going to see this again. But if they were to bring this device back, it probably needs, of course, the better second camera. They have the main 200 megapixel on here, which is nice, but better battery life would be good for this. For the iPhone Air, a dual camera and better, always improve battery life. That's never going to be something I'm not going to say. We'll take that, and I'll take an extra speaker as well, and then we'll have ourselves a bit more of a conversation here. But thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know if you want to see anything else with these two in the future, and in other videos, ideas that I've maybe missed out on. Drop them down below in the comments. I'll catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.